Good morning. I know it's not the daybreak show, but it's 4:43 right now. And I'm up, and I'm doing some reading, and I'm having a cup of coffee. I saw this cup several years ago. Make it happen, it says. And then at the very bottom, there's an exclamation mark. Kind of drives home the point, right? I was thinking about the widows and widowers that I talk to. Sometimes people and issues come into my professional life in waves. And I have been getting a lot of emails and a lot of comments and encountering a lot of widows and widowers, people who experience loss. And I'm talking like people who were together like decades. Decades. One of the things they all say was the relationship wasn't perfect. He or she wasn't perfect. They had their faults. I had my faults. But we made it work. There's a theme amongst all the people that I talk to. I'm going to be chatting with someone today who's a friend of mine who lost her husband a couple weeks ago. And it's very fresh in her head and her heart, having buried him about a week ago. And he was a very famous guy, so she's tying up loose ends with the media, press releases, and all this kind of stuff. It's going to be interesting talking to her about her loss and the whirlwind that her life is right now. And then when that whirlwind stops, all of a sudden, she's going to feel alone and quiet and reach over on the other side of the bed and no one's going to be there. Touch his pillow, go in the closet and see his clothes, things like that. You've seen some of the interviews that I've done with people who've lost a spouse. In my opinion, some of the most significant conversations I've ever had. When people get married, two become one. What happens to that oneness when people die? I know I talk a lot about divorce, but what happens to that oneness when someone dies? You know, there's a tearing when there's a divorce. That's the pain that a lot of people feel. Add to that the legal system, judges, the courts, custody battles. It's a total, it's a shit show and a meat grinder. It's the meat grinder shit show. But what about death? What about death? That's something you don't hear a lot of people in the men's community talking about. That's where they fall flat on their face. They have no idea how to deal with that at all. I've never seen anyone deal with it. The men's community, whatever the hell that is. The YouTube men's community. Yeah. Nobody deals with death and loss effectively. Every person's experience is different. Yet there are common threads that they all deal with, that they cycle through. Hold on, I need another sip of my coffee. I put ghee in here today and used my little milk frother thing to make buttered coffee. Sounds weird to a lot of people, but once you discover it, the whole concept of bulletproof coffee. You'll love it. All right, back to the topic. If divorce is a tearing, then what is death and widowhood? Put your thoughts down below. I'd like to see what you think about that if you have lost somebody. I decided, what's today? Today is Tuesday. Seems like I've worked a whole week already. Yesterday, I was writing down groups, membership groups that I'm going to be creating. I don't have my notes on me right now, but they went something like this. Wednesday nights will be a widows group. And these are kind of like a membership group that I will have. A discussion group, not therapy. Discussion group. Moderated and facilitated so it doesn't get dominated by one person and their grief, and because I want everyone to be able to benefit from everybody and create the mastermind, the group dynamic, which is very healing. So Wednesday night is going to be widows and widowers. Friday night is going to be the post-divorce and breakup group. And that's going to be for men. The Wednesday night widow and widower group, obviously men and women. Friday night, I decided to have the divorce and breakup group because that's when people feel most alone, is at the beginning of the weekend. And I want this to be I want the Friday night group to be a true orienting kind of discussion group, not therapy. Not therapy. To orient you, get you pointed in the right direction for the weekend, Friday nights. Thursday night is going to be a career pivot group. For those who want to change careers, for those who are stuck, it's going to be 100% career oriented. Those are 3 groups that I'm starting. They're going to be membership groups. I'm not sure if it's going to be a monthly cost or a per group cost. I'm not sure yet. And it'll be via Zoom. So I'm learning my Zoom app chops. And I want to do 3 to 4 groups a week. And I wrote down a list of possible groups that I will moderate and facilitate. The power of a group is this. I told you the story of Dr. Bernie Siegel did a cancer survivors discussion group at an auditorium at a hospital. All he had was a microphone. Invited people to the group. People came to the auditorium. Cancer survivors and their spouses and significant others. He opened up the night and said, all right, I want you to tell your story. My name is Dr. Bernie Siegel. I'm a surgeon. I've dealt with people with cancer and helping them have meaning in their life after they've had the surgery, or if they have a diagnosis that's dire and their time is limited on the earth. But for those that did survive, he had this evening where people would come and talk about their survival experiences. He'd open up the evening, and then people would line up, and he would give them the mic. And they were limited in the time that they could talk, and they shared their experience. At the end of the night, and all he did was moderate and facilitate discussion. He didn't let any one person dominate in order to give everyone a chance to talk, which is necessary in groups like this. The group dynamic is profound, absolutely profound. Let's say there's 20 people in a group, and you want to give all 20 people a chance to talk and share their experience while others listen. After everyone's done, with their talking stick, then other people can comment on what people have said. That's the power of a mastermind group. So you have, let's say there's 20 people in a group, 20 talking heads on a Zoom call. It's 2 to 3 hours in length. And believe me, I've done groups like this. And the time just flies. That 2 to 3 hours seems like 20 minutes when it's all said and done. What's interesting about the group dynamic is this. Let's say there's 20 people in the group, and then me, the facilitator. That's 21. Think about this, though. The mastermind effect is this, is that the group becomes another participant, so to speak. So there's 22 minds at work. And some of the breakthroughs that happen with the group are the profound effect of a group. Different than coaching, different than therapy. Now, breakthroughs, if not accompanied by action, is just mental masturbation. I had a breakthrough. But you do nothing with it? Why even have it? Unless your breakthroughs are accompanied by behavioral change, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of the group's time. It's a waste of everything. So, the purpose of a group is to have breakthroughs, action, and then the satisfaction that something has changed, that you changed channels. With the 3 groups that I mentioned, the career pivot group, the widowers group, and the divorce breakup group, think about this. You feel that there's a screen in front of you, like a television that you're watching, and you don't know where the remote is. A show has been forced upon you. When you start having a deeper understanding of where you are and how much control you have over where you are going, it's like someone saying, oh, here's the remote, and you get to change the channel. You get to determine what is in front of you. That is what a group can do for people. I hope you'll be part of it. And here's the thing, there is a, what I call an at-will participation factor. You might come to the group 7 times, and it's enough for you. You might come once or twice and say, this isn't for me. You might be a person that wants regular maintenance and come once a month. You are able to teach somebody. For instance, let's just talk about the widower thing just for a second. If you lost your spouse a year ago, and you encounter somebody who just lost their spouse or loved one a week ago, even though you feel lost for the past year and life is different, you still have something to teach the person who lost their loved one last week. Not only are you in a place to learn, but you are in a place to teach. That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Because people don't know what to do. You know what I tell people who lost somebody? And I'm talking recently, like within a week, 2 weeks, a month. One of the things that I tell them is this: you are alive and you will survive. Because you've heard me say this before, there's 2 things that happen in your head when you're going through this stuff. Number 1 is you feel like you're all alone, and number 2 is you feel like it will never end. Both are false. So when I announce the groups, If you fit into any of those categories, post-divorce, breakup, career pivot, or widow, widower, I'd love to see you join the group. It will be a membership group. I'm not sure what the details are yet, but I'll let you know. Take this away today. Breakthroughs without action are just mental masturbation. Breakthroughs must be accompanied by behavioral change. You'll be fine. You'll be okay.
Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other. So far as the echo, where do we start? You can learn to discover a million stars. Here in the shadows, I know you're scared. Take my hand, together we'll make a stand. We've got to fight to find a way. Dare to fall to find out what to say. No more hate. Just admit that you're just afraid. Time to let go of all your fears and pride. Stand up beside me, don't you hide. We can build a better place. If we can just find a way, then we can live a better day. Rise from the ashes, from the anger, from the war. Let's come together, lift your spirit for the cause. We should be equal, should be living free. All together, one and all, let's build a dream. from the anger from the war. Let's come together, lift your spirit for the cause. We should be equal, should be living free. All together, one and all. All together, one and all. All together, one and all.